Hi, I'm Jaya.
And I'm Venk.
And this is a Reality Hate
Episode 23.
Yes.
Hey, y'all. You know us, you love us, you love us, you know us, you like us, you live for us. So I want you to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button.
Yes.
Because we need the likes. We're here, we're chasing the likes. We're chasing the likes. New York was MIA, and so we're going to be talking about Beverly Hills and more of the drama.
Yep.
But first, I think it's important that we talk a little bit about the testimonial that rocked the world. Britney Spears. The Free Britney Spears movement was right all along, and it was so heartbreaking to hear some of the revelations that came. And recently, she posted on her Instagram saying that she was putting up a front of making things seem like it was okay when it wasn't. And I don't think a lot of people understand just when you have that level of money that you can't be controlled. That, in fact, is sometimes the place and the position where more people try to manipulate you and try to control you. And I don't know about you, Jaya, but for me, what I want for one of my favorite performers is to live her life happy, healthy, and away from the public eye as she wishes. If she wants to perform, she can. If she doesn't, I'd love for her to be able to go to the grocery store, have everyone leave her alone. Like, these things she wasn't allowed to do.
Right.
She had a IUD put in her, or IUD? IUD without her consent. This is sad, but I'm pretty hopeful. And I'm pretty hopeful that she gets the freedom that she deserves. She's worked since she was a baby.
Yep, I agree. 100%. I don't even have any more to say.
Free Britney.
Said it all. Free Britney.
And Jamie Spears can eat a fat one.
Yes.
And on that note, Jaya.
Shall we do the recap?
Recap.
Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. We get into it with Erica Girardi. She enters the party. Erica Girardi. Well, if we hadn't already known about everything that's transpired, I think we'd have a little bit of sympathy. But going into this episode, we already saw the housewife and the hustler. And so we knew information that was not yet, out there at the time of filming.
And this whole episode seems like we're being gaslit. And I want to say this. It might be a bold statement, but I feel her castmates are doing the same thing here. I don't know. Come on, I don't know how much they knew, but people knew things. There couldn't have been people in the circle that didn't know anything.
And no whispers, because Dana Wilkie knew about this divorce weeks before, like called it and knew there was troubled waters. So whispers, they've heard the rumors, I'm sure.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Anyway, we open on the party and Erica Jane enters. And of course, everybody's in Louis Vuitton, which kills me. It just kills me how much Louis Vuitton they have. I can't.
Get more designers. We're not the only people that make clothes, okay?
No. And Erica doesn't obviously want to discuss what's happening. So she's really avoiding it. She's asking everybody else what's going on. And everyone's like sitting there like, so are we going to talk about it? Are we going to talk about it? but she's
That's
not
the
addressing it.
victims in the room. I mean, sorry, they're outside of the room because they can't afford homes because you milked them dry, Girardi. What?
And you know, they finally like are sitting, avoiding the conversation. They sit down at the table to eat, and Sutton makes an announcement that she bought a new car and like what a big deal it is. And then Erica also announces that she bought a car. And I mean, the whole room was quiet. It felt like she was so depressed, like she was buying like a Ford Pinto. You know, like, I mean, it was as if she had to buy like this used Mercury Sable.
Oh,
And
no.
she's like, Erica's like, I got a new car too. And they're like, oh, what'd you get? And she goes, a Range Rover.
What a downgrade.
I mean, poor Erica.
It was up to me, she'd be living in that Range Rover.
Seriously.
And oh my gosh, her new place.
Well, so nobody says anything. So she says, I got a Range Rover. And everyone's silent, which I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So then she finally gets into her divorce. And she said that her marriage was headed down a shitty path, and that she kept everything from them because she would be putting them in a bad position because he's a lawyer. And, you know, she needed to protect everyone from the fact that they stole money from orphans. And you know, she was brave and she was strong, and she drove him to work, and she told him she loved him, and he said, thanks, hon. And then she drove home and she packed up that van and she left behind her Lamborghini and all her beautiful things, and she stole some furniture for her new shack that she was going to move into.
In this episode of Strong Women, she's giving me Angela Bassett from Waiting to Exhale. She's giving me Angela Bassett from What's Love Got to Do With. She's giving me Angela Bassett from Michael Jackson movie. She's, hey, Blondie. You ain't anybody who was played by Angela Bassett. But your extensions.
So she basically said, it's about the relationship. She was being controlled. It was about the relationship, not the fact that they're thieves.
Yeah, and you know, this relationship, I think she needed to skedaddle because it went from a yacht to a little ding dong boat.
A little dinghy. She's not Robin Hood. She stole from the poor to feed the rich.
She's Robin Bitch.
She's Robin Bitch. So then, yeah, she was like, I stole my furniture so I could have some stuff in my new little 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2,000 square foot home.
Money can't buy you class, but it can buy you jail time.
That's amazing.
You know,
it's a good one. So then, what else did she say? Oh, so then it ends basically, and Dorit and Kyle have to go have a talk. So they go have a discussion after it comes up that Garcelle says Dorit can be long-winded, which, you know, she can be long-winded in her when she's having a hard time with her world accent.
Listen, I gotta be honest, game recognized game. If I try to tell a story, it ends in November. Like, I understand long-winded. I am very long-winded.
I get it, but you're also not talking with a accent of the world.
She'll be like almost Australian, and all of a sudden she'll be like, I'm South African, and all of a sudden she'll be like, hello, my name is.
Hello, my baby, hello. And then all of a sudden she's Indian.
I'm like,
and
baby,
she's talking with an Indian accent. We're like, what?
Let's do more voice changes than Madonna and Lindsay Lohan combined.
It's amazing.
She's Hilaria Baldwin.
She's Hilaria Baldwin. Did I ever tell you when I was in Australia visiting my sister, I was there for Thanksgiving, and we went to a friend's house for a Thanksgiving dinner. And I sat across from this girl who had the most bizarre accent. I didn't understand what was going on. It was British and Australian, which kind of, it was like a weird mishmash thing. And it was like it was such a weird, almost Cockney, but like
Welsh.
weird. It was a made up accent. No, she was from Pennsylvania.
Thank you guys. It was a pleasure seeing you. I'm gonna go now.
She was from and her husband was British, but they lived in Australia. So she had this weird thing. And I finally said to Courtney, my sister, what's going on with that girl across from me? And she was like, I don't know. It's like really weird. Yeah, I know. She's from Pennsylvania. Like it didn't make any sense. And
what is one of your sister's friends? Or like
I didn't know her that well. This girl worked at Google, which the home we were at, the wife worked at Google. It was so bizarre.
Google.
Google. It was like the weirdest. I just remember being like, I can't, what's happening? And when she told me she was an American, I was like, what is actually?
There's a line from my favorite movie, starring Rosalind Russell, titled Auntie Mame. And the little boy turns to Rosalind Russell and he goes, why does that English woman something, something, something? And she goes, oh, she's not English. She's American. She's from Pittsburgh. That's the line. And he goes, then why does she have that accent? Well, when you're from Pittsburgh, you have to have something.
There we have it. So Dorit and Kyle have a discussion, and basically Dorit apologizes for being long-winded, but like wants some sort of apology from Kyle. And Kyle's like, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not giving you an apology. You are long-winded. You snap at me. You cut me off. And she's like, well, Kyle, you cut me off all the time, And she's like, no, you cut me off. You're mean to me. Eventually, Dorit gives in and apologizes for leaving the election party early. And I mean, they're friends again, right? Of course they are.
I'm happy you're friends. I don't not interested.
Not interested.
We know what,
or PK.
We know what the story is this season. Literally, we could just follow.
We care about Erica Jane.
I mean, we want to just see her fail.
Yes. Sorry, Erica. You were our favorite until you knew who you were.
Dum de dum, yeah, 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 dum de dum de dum, yeah, 0, 0, 0, done.
Yes. So then we get back to the table and we're still discussing the relationship that is broken, Tom and Erica. And they're like, you moved out. That's so brave. You're so strong, blah, blah, blah. Do you think Tom's going to stay there? And she's like, oh yeah. I mean, 2 other wives lived there before I did. He's for sure going to stay in that house. I mean, what? Your husband has no money. How's he going to stay in the house? It's just lies, lies, lies. Like I felt like I could tell she was like lying through her teeth. She's created this narrative that now she's pushing on the show. And we know it's not real. She's villainizing Tom to save herself. Also showing her closet full of things so that the government can go through all the episodes like this one, like the items that she took from his house, like her clothing and her jewels and her furniture. And they can press pause and they can be like, we need to get this back, this back, this back, this back, this back.
She's basically cataloging via video. Yeah. I mean, this is dumb da dumb da dumb day dumb da dumb da dumb dumb.
I mean, it's just, and so of course the big line that we all know and we've been hearing through, from all the promotionals was that she did not see this ending this way. She was going to hold that man's hand until the day he died. Why? And I get it. My immediate response was, then hold his hand if you love him so much. Stand by him, because you knew he did this. Why aren't you standing by him? You left because you're hiding money and you want your things. So she says that, and it kind of ends there, really, right?
It's a non-episode episode because, and you know what? Hulu really did screw with Bravo a little bit. And you know what? I'm liking it because that deep dive in The Housewife and the Hustler, and of course, our deep dive we did last episode.
Yes, hope you watched.
Amazing Janine Salduendo. I really do feel like they kind of stole a little bit of glory. I don't understand why Roni wasn't on, but I don't know. There's something that felt, in our pre-tape conversation, I was like, can you tell me what happened? And
I mean, there's a few other things that happen, but that's all anyone cares
about. But the weird thing is, I watched the episode. I watched it early in the evening, and it wasn't late. I wasn't tired, and I really didn't care. I don't know, like.
I think it's because we know everything now, and so we're so turned off by her. But what I found interesting about it was the narrative, because we get to the narrative, she eventually goes out with Lisa Rinna, and she talks about basically, how she had to escape, and she's been planning this escape for a long time, secretly planning, and how she said goodbye to him and then packed up and ran away, and went to her new house, and how she felt like she had to leave because he controlled her and he wasn't nice to her, and she had to I'm sorry, he was very nice to you. Sure, we saw him snap here and there, but like that, no.
I mean, you know what this is?
Villainizing him. It's just she's trying to paint this picture.
It's like she's watching other divorces that played out on TV or in movies and trying to steal info, because this just reminds me of Katie Holmes' escape from Tom Cruise. Like she's strategic. I don't think she was.
I feel like she's a sociopath. Like it's like the way strategic. She was in her conversation with Eric or with Lisa Rinna, like her eyes were darting all over the place. She was, she said, we have some real challenges ahead, and she's like, because he's a lawyer and it's going to be a nasty divorce. It's like, no, that's not the reason, and it. Like, I don't know. I just feel like she could be a sociopath. Like
it's too.
We also saw her in her house, and it was just like as if she had to move into like a 350 square foot bachelor, like as if she was just like she was so upset and so depressed that she moved into this beautiful little home. Like I was like, I like your house.
She was about to move into a basement apartment in Brunswick, New Jersey.
Seriously, she moves into this and she's like pouting and rolling her eyes and how sad it is. It's like, give me a break, Eric. And we're supposed to have sympathy for you.
You know what? We have, it's that thing where people don't sympathize for wealthy people. We sympathize for anybody going through any heartache. You are a part of a large problem of wealthy people feeding off of victims and victimizing people that don't have power for themselves. And so nobody cares. Again, like,
we have no sympathy for you and your 2,000 square foot home.
Or
most people in LA don't have.
Listen, if it was up to me, you remember that scene in Game of Thrones? Shame.
Yes.
Shame on you.
So a few more things do happen, though. Yes. We have to touch on those. So Garcelle hires a relationship guide, relationship expert. I don't know why I couldn't get that out, to come to her house. And Damona.
And You are Facebook friends with Damona.
I am. Yes, Damona and I are Facebook friends. So Damona comes to her house and basically, gives her advice on her relationship or relationship on what she needs to look for in a human to find a relationship. So they basically break it down and go through it, and she's going to help her find a match.
Mhm.
So that happens. And then the other big thing that happened was the dumpling party at Crystal's. So Crystal's having everyone over. Yes, I wish I was at that dumpling party. I love dumplings, just so you know, Crystal. So anyway, Crystal has everyone over. And her cousins come over to help. She forgets the wraps. Her lovely husband goes to pick up all the missing items. He's so nice. And she has everyone over. And eventually Sutton has found out that Crystal has been talking about the incident with the coat, and that she felt Crystal felt violated and, exposed and all of the things. And I'm not going to take it away, but it does feel a little over dramatic.
Because, I guess it could be, I'm going to say probably it's because of the body dysmorphia that one would have.
Agree with you. But the problem I have with it is that she said, I haven't talked to anyone about this. I want to talk to you about this alone, and I'm not telling anyone. And then there she is, like, sitting every housewife down and like talking to them about it.
And that's the thing. That's where Crystal, I think, loses favor.
It makes me feel like, man, I liked you. I didn't like you. I sort of liked you. I don't like you. She's not my favorite. Like, so far I don't like what she's done on just, these opening episodes. So Crystal and Sutton sit down, and Sutton says, talking behind people's backs can be very dangerous. And you saying you felt threatened and violated, those are very dangerous words to use.
Those can trigger a lot of feelings in people. So you got to be careful when using those words.
Right. And so they have this discussion, and she's like, well, I want to move past, Crystal's like, well, it's still kind of not fessing up to the fact that she basically spoke to every other housewife about this, but basically saying, like, let's move forward and let's move past this. Like, I want to move on. I don't want this to be uncomfortable. Can we? And Sutton's like, yeah, I do too, but it's still a thing. So then they bring it to the group and it comes up. And I felt I felt like people were kind of like had Sutton's back for that. We're kind of like, yeah, Crystal.
I mean, I kind of was like, if it was so triggering and she needed to communicate it, she should have done it to Sutton. However, but in Watch What Happens Live, I believe that Crystal and Sutton have since made amends. It looked like it.
Yeah, it does. I mean, and that was the thing, but I think she probably realized, like, I look like an idiot. I mean, everybody else had her back. The only one that didn't was Dorit, but I mean,
Dorit is she's.
I just have to take a deep breath. I don't know. So the only other thing that happens is Sutton got a mammogram for the first time ever. It was normal. Everyone, women, please go get your mammograms. There's nothing. It doesn't hurt. It's fine.
Speaking of which, I got to go get my prostate checked. It's about that time.
Everyone should get checked.
I mean, but at a doctor's office.
There's one other thing I want to touch on, but at a doctor's office.
Just breeze by that one?
What?
Like, you're just gonna breeze by that joke? That was offensive.
No, that was so good.
I was like, all I was doing was waiting for you. I was like sitting there like a dog, and you're like, anyway, so I just I tried. I love her, but she hates me.
So then there's one thing I want to touch on. In the discussion with Lisa Rinna, I love that Erica chose Lisa Rinna to confide in. In the discussion with Lisa Rinna, she says that at one point she wanted a trial separation from Tom, but then she decided that that wouldn't work. I mean, it's a web of lies. It just kills me just how much detail she puts into making him the villain and making herself the victim. And like,
put in those when you're you know committed.
I just love that we already know she's a big old liar.
Yeah,
you know, so she just looks even worse.
So that wraps it up, right? That wraps up.
Yeah. So next week.
Yeah, I want to say one thing. The Halloween Kills trailer came out, and the reason why that's important is because Kyle Richards is in the movie. The one, she comes to Haddonfield, Illinois, to get killed by Michael Myers. Here's the thing about the trailer. I am a huge Halloween fan. I am too. Yeah. So my favorites was Halloween 2 and then Halloween H2O.
Oh, I loved H2O. It was so good.
Amazing. And then they made one after that with Tyra Banks, and that was Busta Rhymes, and that was not good.
No.
But then they revamped it to make Jamie Lee Curtis's character not related to it. So it picks up after the first episode. So my two favorite episodes were basically denied the truth, like that was a dream imagined. She wasn't related. One thing about the Halloween Kills trailer was it was extremely graphic, and you see Kyle get pushed up by the car by Michael Myers, but I basically feel like you're showing every death scene, which when you're showing everything in a trailer,
then we don't need to go to the movies and see it.
Sometimes it's like, okay, well, how is this going to be amazing if we're basically seeing the whole movie?
But guess what? I'm going to still go and see it.
Kyle Richards there, and also Halloween H2O.
Halloween.
But on that now, that's all I wanted to say. I think on that note, is it time for
taglines?
Taglines. My husband Luke is providing us with some killer taglines, but we'd also love for you to provide us with some. So remember to reach out to us or comment on our Instagram account, comment on our TikTok, which is on fire. We're about at 580, and watching those comments are crazy. People be real inflamed in our comment section, especially about Erica Girardi. I'm like, I just like watching that shit show. It's hilarious. Please send us your taglines please send it realityhatef@gmail.com. That's realityhatef@gmail.com. Here's the email. But now it's time for a breakdown. Jaya?
Okay, this is from the great Luke Lizaldo. I hate stepping in shit, but I love to start it.
You did a really good job. You did an amazing job. The only thing that's better than talking with my friends is talking about them.
Yay, that was so good. Please send it to us. We want you. And also, I'm still single. So I'd like to go on a date. Just, I need love. Well, no, I mean, I'm very loved, but he needs a date.
Or again, I do need to get my prostate checked so I could go to the doctor.
Are there any doctors out there that could do a 2-for-1?
Do you take my health insurance? So we got to just check if they
Well,
take
but
it.
also do they take Chili's as a form of payment?
Baby back ribs. I think we talked about my prostate enough. Please follow us on Instagram at Reality Hate F, *** K, or Reality Hate F on TikTok, or Reality Hate F on the gram. We would appreciate it. And Jaya, you are a blessing. And
So you.
thank you. And audience, our lovers from other mothers, you are amazing. So, see you next.
Oh, I love your nails.
I mean, they were for the weekend. I spent shooting with a fabulous designer in Mexico.
I love them.
I wanted to match the mood.
I love them.
Snatch for the gods. Bye.
I love you.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Okay, start.
Blackwater. We like it.
So good.
Quenches that thirst.
So good.